Well, hello, it's Nicole, your side hustling diva. Happy New Year. Today, I want to spill the tea on a company called GoPuff. So if you are a delivery driver and you're a partner and you come across a company called GoPuff in your town, your city, or whatever like that, I want to kind of just give you a warning of what it was like to work for this company. Now, they started their facility in 2020 in the Stamford, Connecticut location. What they do is they typically scout out college towns and they open up facilities there. They have ghost facilities, very much like how ghost kitchens are, where they're not open to the public, so they have a warehouse, and what they do is they provide convenience store items to customers, and they do it in quickly, like within a half an hour you can get your delivery, your order, usually in less than 20 minutes. So what they do is they have a warehouse facility where they have groceries on shelves, they have refrigeration, they have freezers and all of that, and they deliver everything from like like pantry items, eggs, cheese, milk, bread, all of that, all the way to condoms and sex toys and jewels, nicotine, vape, things like that. Okay. So they run the gamut of what they, candy, all of that stuff. Anything you would go to the convenience store for in the middle of the night. Okay. So, I started working for them. They're right around the corner from my house, and they were running this facility here. Excuse me, I'm chirping. They were running this facility here on a very what shall I say, inexperienced crew. They're supposed to have a manager here, a manager that opened up the facility. She was originally for the New Haven, Connecticut location. She went back to her locations, so they had hired a manager. Now, that manager she was coming down from Bethel, Connecticut, which is a little bit of a hike as far as a drive every day to come down from Bethel to Stamford. So they assigned her a new warehouse in Norwalk, Connecticut. So she was managing that one. And then they put a temporary guy in place from New Haven to take over managing operations there. But he really wasn't a manager. He was just acting manager. So then the New Haven manager unexpectedly quit. So something went down there, because she had been with the company for a few years and she built her facility up pretty good. So the acting manager from my facility, he had to go back to New Haven and take control of things there. And then he was offered the management position there. Now we had no manager. So basically the one that had gone to Norwalk was now put back in charge of Norwalk and Stamford. So she was only at our location maybe once a week. So you have all these young people who were doing a lot of things that they should not have been doing during work hours, like smoking weed and drinking on company time. Okay, so there was a lot of stuff happening that should have been happening because there was no management there. There was no supervision. Now, as drivers, we're independent contractors. I'm not working for anybody. I'm working for myself. So GoPuff, what they do is they'll pay you a subsidy. If you get less than 3 orders per hour, they'll pay you an hourly subsidy. So there'd be times you were required to kind of be there for your shift. You have to pick a shift in like a roulette kind of thing every Friday. You got to basically scramble to get the hours that you want and hope that nobody grabs them before you. Every Friday. So this particular manager, she was always bad at announcing when the schedule was going to drop. And then she'd drop it like 2 hours later than it was supposed to. And she wouldn't tell anybody. So people would already scramble and get their hours. And then I'm left not knowing that the schedule was out and missed hours. So there'd be like weeks where I couldn't even grab hours. And I'd be like, can you be consistent with this and drop it at the same time every day? It's not hard. Set yourself a reminder that you need to put the schedule out and let us know. So she couldn't get that shit down. That was number one. Okay. Number two, they couldn't figure out a system on which drivers were back first. So like, first one in, first one out, as far as deliveries, how you assign the deliveries. So basically what they do is that there's employees that are working in the warehouse and they have to assign the orders to the drivers. They have to run and pack them and they have to bring them out to drivers and the drivers run them. Okay. So they would lose track of who was there first. And I kept saying to them, listen, make a system where you have the first spot is whoever's back first, take that first spot and just go down that way. It makes life a lot easier. And they wouldn't do that. And I'm like, this place is run like a jungle gym, and there's nobody, like, it's all a bunch of kids working here that have nothing going for them. They're not aspiring to be anything better. All they want to do is be burnouts and make money and basically do whatever. And look, to each their own, but you're supposed to be conducting business, okay? Whatever you do on your personal time. So I had a whole issue with that. So anyway, one of the guys that was at OA there, I had kind of been friendly with a couple of them and some of the drivers that I started with the whole time. So he and I ended up in a screaming match because he was drunk and he was he was talking to me about something. And I said, dude, what have you been drinking? You stink of like liquor, whatever like that. So we got into a whole confrontation about that. He was like, I didn't drink anything. I'm like, yeah, you did. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my catfish. He's chasing one of the fish. We ended up in a screaming match, and he ended up pushing me. I called the police. I filed a police report. I emailed headquarters and let them know what happened. Okay. He called the manager and left her a voicemail at 3:00 in the morning. It was like all this stuff that went down. It was really bad. I have it on videotape. I video recorded him shoving me out the door. Okay. So now granted, I was screaming at him, but he was the one that created the whole scenario. He created this whole scenario. He came to me in the car. He couldn't stand up. He was breathing alcohol on me. He was high. And then he started accusing me, telling me nobody liked me. I said, I don't care if anybody likes me. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to make money. I don't care. Okay? I really don't care. They don't have to talk to me. I was like, I'm tired of being everybody's babysitter. I don't want to know. I'm not here to pay attention to who's supposed to be the next driver to take the next order. I'm sitting in my car. I'm trying to stay awake. I'm trying to maybe take a nap in some cases because I was working 2 jobs. I was like, I'm not really focused on what you should be doing, what you're supposed to be paying attention to. However, as a delivery person who works late hours and as a female who's out and about on her own, I am very hyper aware of everything that goes on around me. And I do look at things and I pay attention to things. And when I'm driving past someplace and I see somebody standing outside of a place smoking weed, I observe that. It's not intentional. It's not like I'm specifically searching. I'm specifically keeping track of this one person because I want to get them in trouble. I'm driving and I see you and I'm observing what you're doing. And I'm choosing to keep it to myself. Okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm actively like, don't ask, don't tell. Okay? So we get into this whole thing. I mean, he was so drunk, he couldn't stand up. He had a really hard time standing up, and he had a really time even speaking to me. He couldn't speak. He was that drunk. I was like, this is just, you're a mess. You're so drunk. I smell all the alcohol coming off of you, whatever like that. So we end up in a screaming match. The police didn't press charges against him for assaulting me because they were like, it's disorderly conduct. You were screaming at him and everything like that. And he's like, we could press charges on both of you and we're not going to do that. So everybody just go about their business and everything like that. So I showed corporate the video of him screaming at me and pushing me and all of this. And him telling me, I need to leave and he's my boss. You're not my boss. And I was like, make me leave. I'm supposed to be there at 3:00. I'm not going to be in trouble for leaving. I'm supposed to be there. I'm scheduled till 3 and you're not going to tell me to leave. You're not my boss because I'm working for myself. I don't have a boss. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things here that I want you to understand if you choose to maybe get partnered with this company. First of all, you are a 1099 independent contractor. However, they will verbally and email like communications within the company, within your facility. All that communication will be letting you know that if you do not show up for your scheduled hours, your scheduled shift, you will be considered that you've abandoned your shift and your contract will be terminated. That's what you tell employees that are working for you at a 1099 at a W-2 and getting an hourly wage. That's what you tell those kind of employees. You don't tell that to independent contractors. Okay, you don't tell them that they're terminating. Their contract will be terminated because they didn't show up for a shift because they couldn't find coverage and they couldn't work the shift that they had picked. Okay, that's something right there. So they will tell you in the service agreement, it doesn't say that they can't hold you to that, but what they communicate within the company is completely different. That's completely, they say one thing and they do another. Okay, so their legalese that they make you sign when you agree to start working for them says one thing, but what they actually do is the opposite of that. Okay, they basically say, if you don't show up, you can't work for us anymore. That's what they say to you. All right. And they also, okay, they want you there at the facility to be at their beck and call for those scheduled hours. So what they do is that if you're not getting deliveries, in order to keep you there, in order for you not to go out and take a delivery on another app, what they do is they'll pay you an hourly subsidy. So if you get less than 3 orders an hour, you're going to get a $10 subsidy on top of any orders you do get that are less than 3. So if you get 2 orders within that hour, you're going to get the $10 plus whatever you've earned on those orders. So basically, you're paying me an hourly wage to sit there and be at your beck and call. And to keep me from doing what's in my best interest, which would be to take another order from a different delivery company. But you don't want that. See, they deter you from that, but they're not going to put that in their legalese. So that when shit like this happens, where you have an incident where their employee assaults you and you bring it to them, they can let you go and be like, you agreed to all this. Okay, so just be careful when you sign up for this company. And what I do recommend, if you do want to work for this company, if you see advertisement that they're hiring on places like Indeed, do your research. Look at the reviews. Okay, a lot of the reviews that are 5-star are from internal people. Okay, they're from people from the company that have given 5 stars on Indeed. But if you go to Glassdoor and look at the reviews, you'll see a lot of reviews that are 1 star and talking about the same kind of instances where people are high, where there's a lot of irresponsible behavior happening at the facilities, that there's no management, there's nothing like being done that should be, like, it's not professional in any way, shape, or form. They're running like on skeleton crews. They run their managers into the ground. They have like managers operating 3 facilities at once, paying them one manager for one management salary. Okay. And also, if you are a delivery customer of GoPuff, if you use that, they inflate the prices of the items that they sell. Okay, so where you would go to a grocery store and get a pound of butter for like maybe $3.99, you're now going to pay $6.99 at GoPuff. So they want you to think that you're paying a low delivery fee. You have a very low delivery fee, and they also have an option where you can join and pay a monthly price so that you're not getting any delivery fee. But they have a $10 minimum of what you have to spend to place an order. Okay, you have to spend at least $10, and everything, the price of everything is padded. Everything. So they've, in some cases, doubled the price of something that you would buy normally at a grocery store, at a convenience store. They've upped the price. Okay. The other thing is, and I've said this before, and so basically what they did was they terminated my contract and they retained their employee. And they retained him until I filed an OSHA complaint against them. Then they fired him. And the reason I know that is because he was outside the facility every day after they terminated my contract. And I know that because my storage facility is in the same parking lot as this warehouse. So literally, I was there every day I sell things online. So I'd have to go get inventory out of my storage unit. And every day I was there, he was working. And they sat there and they wrote me a letter saying that he was terminated. They have an email that they sent me saying that he was terminated. They wrote to OSHA and the Department of Labor saying that he had been terminated because of the same reason. He wasn't terminated. He was terminated because I reported them to OSHA. Okay, so they have many OSHA violations in many of the facilities. I don't know if people have retaliated against them, but they do have bad reviews. So be warned and be careful, and that's the tea. And everything that I've said is how they operate. And that's it. And also keep in mind that Uber is now partnered with this company. So I will not drive for Uber ever again. Uber in themselves is a piece of shit company. And I will not drive for Postmates anymore because Uber owns Postmates. And I will never, obviously I'm never going to work for GoPuff again because they terminated my contract. But because of that, I will never work for Uber or Postmates ever again. And I will never use their services for anything. And that's it. So anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy driving, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.